Hi, this is Margaret from Margaret's Crafts. I want to share with you a scrapbook page, two-page layout that I was working on. Seeing as though that school is almost over or over for some people, and like for your, this is more mainly for like a elementary school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade layout, to showcase some of his pictures and works or something from his first year or his first grade or whatever it is. What you can do is you can also take pictures of the things that they made and include them in your layout, some of the special ones, so that if they get lost or thrown away, you can still have them in your scrapbook pages. So I'm leaving some pages for, some spaces for those pictures, and then like for if they went on a field trip, the school play, or the school holiday, you can just highlight it all in your two-page layout. So to start off with, I'm going to show you the things that I'm using. I'm using my ATG gun with the acid-free tape in it, because you will be using your your pictures in it, so you want to make sure they're acid-free. I'm using some sticky dots, dimensionals. I'm using some alphabet stickers. I'm using some cutouts that I made with my Cricut. And then for the background for the pictures, I'm just using some red and some yellow cardstock, because I'm using primary colors, the red, the yellow, and the blue. This is an older piece of paper that I found when I was using my, when I was digging through trying to find out what paper I wanted to use. And it had a school bus in it. So you could probably find on one of the Cricut cartridges or your other things and make up a school bus. But this paper had a school bus, so I just cut the school bus out, and then I cut two of the windows out so that you can put the pictures in for those window spots. Then I have two pieces of lined paper that looks like notebook paper that I'm going to use. It has the little hole, like for the hole punches. And then I'm using the blue paper for my background. The blue paper that I'm using for the background is 12 by 12, and these were 12 by 12 papers that I trimmed a 1/2 inch on two sides to make it so that I can have a border. I like borders around my pages. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is put our paper down with our borders. And you don't need a whole bunch of tape on this, because it's not going anywhere. You don't need to put the tape all the way around. It's going to be in your scrapbook book. It's going to be in your scrapbook in the page protector, so you don't have to put a whole bunch of glue everywhere. Just little dabs of glue. Then center it for your 1/4 of an inch. Okay, page number 1 down. And I'm going to do the second page the exact same way. Okay, now I'm going to take some of my images and I'm going to lay them out. The first thing I do before I glue anything down is I make a dry run of how I want everything to fit. And as you can see, when I did my pages, certain things are laying over top of your pictures. This is where my dimensionals are going to come in. Like, I'm going to put dimensionals on these things so that you'll be able to slip your pictures underneath it. And if you noticed where I have this one set up, I'm only going to put my dimensionals on this side. If you don't want to put dimensionals, you can also tape it down. But you would only tape down these sides over here. You can tape it all down or glue it all down except for the tip. And you can just glue down the center so that you can get your pictures underneath them. And I like this, the way I have it set up here. And what I wanted to put was school days. So these are some stickers, some alpha stickers that I had picked up a while back at Target. I picked up several because I wanted to be able to write out everything. So before I glue this stuff down, I want to put my letterings on. So if I have to shift them up or shift them down, I can do that. And you can also leave spots like this spot up here. You can just write on, telling about how their school year went, what they did, and write it out on a piece of white cardstock or a piece of white paper, and then just glue it down into one of the spots that you want to use, so that you can have your journaling in. I'm not going to press these letters down because I want to see how I want them to lay. I'm just going to sit them. Now you can put anything you want to. You can put first grade, second grade. I'm just using this for a general idea. Okay, and there's my heading for my first page. I like how everything's set up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press everything down. I may move my letters around a little bit because I like to do them all crooked. Okay, there's my heading. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to glue down my, or tape down my, my places for my pictures and my journaling. And for me, it doesn't matter if it goes off into the border area. I just like a little bit of a border to show around my edges. Now this is where I'm going to use the dimensions, and on this one I want to put it straight up the middle. Like that, where you can see my right up the middle. My last. Because it's going to overlap at the bottom, all I did was I moved my dimensional up a little bit so the bottom is free. But remember, you can do this with your tape or your glue. And as you noticed, let me show you. When you cut your picture to fit it in there, it'll fit right up underneath without any problems. Now, remember on this one, we're going to just adhere it on the side. Okay, and as you can see, it'll still slide right up underneath there. Now on the last one, I'm going to do the same thing. Plus I like the added dimension of the dimensionals on here. Okay, and that's your first page is all done. Now let's work on page number 2 with the other items. We already have this set up, and let's do a dry run on the other pages. Now we're going to put the school bus down here. And remember, your pictures can go horizontal, vertical, and then you can crop them down to, you know, whatever size that you want to be, whatever size you want it to be. So let's do our dry run of how we think we want it to look. Okay, I don't think we need this extra with the big school bus, so we'll just take that away. Remember, we can leave spaces and put the year. They can write on these lines and use that for journaling. You can use it anyway. So just like the other ones, first we're going to glue our background for our pictures. Okay. Okay, now let's pop these up. Remember, this one, we have to only put it on this side over here. Okay, so as you see, it's free up underneath there. The scissors, it's the tips of the scissors I can't put anything on. Okay, now for the school bus, we're going to do it a little different. Because the school bus is cut out of paper, you could have did it one of two different ways. You could have either put it on cardstock and then cut it out, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it down to the page. But I'm leaving the top open, and I'm not going to put anything in between here, and a little bit for each side down so far so that a picture can be slipped in. And you don't need a lot of glue for this. Just swipe it on there a little bit. Remember, the top and this middle is not to be glued. So they can cut out a picture of the kid. Just doing a sample, and slide it down into the spot like that. That's why this part is left open. Then after they get it down in there, or after you get your picture down in there, if you want to, you can glue this part shut. But for now, leave it unglued until the picture is stuck down in there. Then you can go back and glue the sides and the top down if you want to. And you can even write the kid's name right up underneath on this little white spot in the window. But all I did was cut it out. It was on a piece of paper. I would have used the schoolhouse, but the bus was on the schoolhouse. And then all I did was cut the little windows out to stick their faces in. And you can take stickers or write the name of the school or the school system on the side of the bus. But there you have it. A 2-page layout for back to school. Page 1. Or not for back to school, for the end of a school year. And page 2. There we go. And that's our 2-page layout. Remember, pictures can go down up underneath here. And then you can glue it shut if you want to. But there it is. You have journaling spots. Excuse me. You have pictures. Remember that you can put pictures, take pictures of their favorite pictures that they took. And I have my school days, and that's my 2-page layout. Page 1 and page 2. Thank you very much for watching my video. Bye.